What fights are you excited about in the near future that are happening? What are some fights that you got you?
Bo Nickal's next fight, which will reignite the conversation of Bo Nickal versus Khamzat Chimaev. There is nothing I enjoy speaking about more than what would happen with Bo and Chimaev. And I don't just want to talk about the fight or 3 rounds versus 5 rounds. I want the specific takedown. Who's going to go for it? Who's going to get the other one there? Are they going to go for a double leg? Is it going to be over under? I like that entire argument. Which one is going to get tired first? Which one's going to try the takedown first? Everything about Bo versus Chimaev is exciting for me. Somebody's has got to go. That line never stopped working in sport. And we just don't get to see it in MMA very often because we just don't get guys that make it to a top level and they have such pristine records. So I'm actually interested in that. I'm a little bit annoyed that you haven't been called out by anybody yet, but I am excited for 185. I think that they're doing it the right way. I think Strickland should get in there with Duplessis. And I know sometimes we put business and excitement, but we got to remember to be sport first. It has to be competition first with the right competitors. I think that's the right way to do it. See what happens with Chimaev. And, we were hearing different rumors about him, and even that he was held up with visa issues. I tend to think those are true stories, but now that has freed up, I'd like to get those conversations going again.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's the fight I've been wanting for a long time, and we'll make it happen. I think that it's just like that fight is massive, and it's been talked about since I very first started MMA, and so I feel like the proper circumstance is for the belt. Like, it has to be for the belt in my mind. So
it's seeming like that's the only circumstance. I agree.
Yeah, and so that, like, it changes the timeline a little bit because it's like, well, let's see. If I get into the rankings and he's number whatever, like, we could fight. But I feel like that it's owed to, I think, us as fighters, to the fans, to the MMA community for that to be a world championship fight. And, I can't wait because at the end of the day, for me, the idea is, I want to fight the best guys in the world. It's not, this guy sucks. I'm so much better than everybody. And it's like, that guy's freaking good. He's a savage. He's a beast. He's from, the mountains. And guess what, man? I'm from America, and I'm going to come out there and we'll see what we can do. But I believe in my skills. I've proved it against the best of the world in one sport. And now we're going to do it in fighting, which is the ultimate sport. And so for me, the excitement is I'm thinking about that every single day in training, even though I know I'm going to have however many fights in between now and then. That's like the one that motivates me. It's weird because honestly, these last fights, Paul Craig, I was excited for because that's an interesting challenge. But prior to that, I'm like this is part of the process. So I'm not as excited about it. I'm not I don't feel that danger. But that fight with Khamzat, that's where I really feel it. And that's how I know I'm going to perform my best when it comes down to it, because that's what I train every single day to do. And that's what I'm thinking about all the time. So I couldn't agree more.
Did any of you guys happen to see the training footage that just came out on Khamzat? It was like a week ago, but he was with the Russian national team.
Mm-hmm. I did,
Will you admit that he looked a little better than maybe we gave him? Because it looked like they were even going Greco. I mean, he was pushing and he was chest to chest, which is hard to do when he was doing some wrist control. I thought he looked a little sharper than I was aware he was.
No, he's
just pure wrestling.
He's pretty good. Yeah, pure wrestling. I think that, he's got some skills. It's hard to say exactly what they are because what information do we have? We have a short video of him training with good wrestlers. So that's maybe 1% of what's actually going on. So maybe you can extrapolate and say he's doing really well all the time, but maybe not. We have video of him beating up some high school kids in Sweden. So take that for what it is. And then we have video of him throwing down guys in MMA who have never grappled really at a competitive high world-class level. You have him fighting Gilbert Burns and struggling a little bit with Gilbert Burns. But I do think that he does have skills. Do I think he's a top-level world-class wrestler, a guy that could be, top 3, top 5 in the world? Probably not. Maybe if he trained wrestling full-time, he could. But right now, I don't believe that. I think right now, myself, I know that I'm a top 3 guy in the world. I don't think there's really a guy in the world at 86 kilos that could beat me in wrestling right now. You know, then I haven't even wrestled in whatever 3.5 years. So,
Sure.
you know, I feel confident in that, but it's hard to say exactly where he's at. You know, I think that he's good. He's got skills, but his biggest thing that's going to crush him, especially against a fight against me, is, dude, you're going to get tired. Like, you're going to go like this, and I'm going to go like this as the fight goes on. And, you know, you're not going to take me down, which is your best attribute. So you're going to have to strike with me. I'm probably going to be able to take you down. Maybe I don't hold you down on the ground forever, but I can hold you down there for a little bit. And the longer the fight goes, the worse it's going to get. So that's kind of my view of it from 30,000 feet, and you know, trying to take all the information that we have and look at it in a realistic perspective.
Yeah, that does come back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, the athlete's biggest fear is exhaustion, and that would be his fear. He would definitely have an anxiety if I come at him hard and fast early, and that energy's not going to hold up.
No.
I would agree. That would be something that would be in their mind, and that's a very hard thing to fix.
Yeah. So here's the difference, you know, between Khamzat and I, because I think we have similar, like, our bodies are kind of similar, and we have, like, obviously a grappling base, so there's similarities. But you look at me when I go out to fight, zero motion, no emotion. I'm competing. I'm here to win. Him, he's charged up. He's screaming. He's yelling. He's coming out. And a lot of MMA fans nowadays look at that and they're like, that's the way to do it. That's aggressive. And, you know, that's the guy that's going to win. But guess what? If you're going to fight and beat the guys that are the best in the world, you got to do it with your brain, because we're all strong. We all have skills. We're all talented, and we all train hard. But what separates us is I have no emotion going out to compete, and I compete smart. He goes 100% from the jump.
Yeah.
And I think that's allowed him to, like, have these highlights and to throw a guy down like Robert Whittaker and choke him out. But me and Robert Whittaker are two different. That's not the same. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
He's not doing that to me. There's zero chance. I guarantee you there's 0.000% chance that he's ever going to do that to me.
Yeah, I mean, Usman showed a good foreshadowing.
And he doesn't even
what-
wrestle.
And it was just if you can get past that initial jolt, which he can't help. He has to do that at first, but I thought he challenged him well in that area.
And Anthony, I've tried to argue that with people when they argue about Bo. It's like, it's always who can take who down. But sometimes I will concede that point and say he can have the takedown, which you're misunderstanding. He's not going to keep him there.
No.
That's the whole part that, like, throws everybody. They're like, they think Bo's going to go down and he's going to be on his guard. It's like, no, he's going to get back up.
Yeah.
You got to be sure Chimaev can take him down, but to win this argument, you got to be sure he can take Bo down 3-1. He's got to take him down, to get as much time on top as Bo will need with one takedown. That's what the part of the argument that I feel people miss.
For sure.
And we spend our whole lives getting up, whereas internationally you never train that.
And I love that he's training with the Russian national wrestling team. That's amazing. And guess what, man? I'm training with the United States world team and Olympic team, and I'm training with the Nickal Wrestling Club, and I'm training with Penn State wrestling team. You know, every day since I've got back from this fight, I'm in the wrestling room. You know, I'm in the Penn State wrestling room training. I'm wrestling Carter Strachey. I'm wrestling Aaron Brooks. I'm wrestling Josh Barr. You know, I'm wrestling Greg Kirkfleet. These are the best guys in the world at wrestling, you know, and it's not so that's something that I think, you know, you kind of brought this up about my last fight. It's like, oh, you see how many wrestlers go in and, you know, start striking, get in love with the hands. Now they're a boxer, they're a striker. It happens all the time. You know, Justin Gaethje is a prime example. There's tons of other guys like that have a wrestling background and now only strike. And that's because they don't train wrestling, right? For me, I'm day in, day out wrestling the best guys in the world. That's a huge part of my routine. So I'm never going to lose that. Like, I still know, like I said, that I think I'm probably the best 86 kilo wrestler on the planet right now. And that just, you know, doesn't go away because I'm still doing it every day.